All right, so it is NFL Week 1. I know I started this channel like over a month ago and haven't done anything since, but it's been crazy busy, and I was really just waiting for the NFL. So as I kind of explained early on, my main sports that I bet are NFL, NBA. I usually just stick to teasers, um, money line parlays for baseball, and then tennis. I like in-gaming tennis and then just betting Grand Slams. So I've been busy lately with betting the U.S. Open for tennis and kind of backed off the NBA a little bit because it's towards the end now, and um, just kind of focus on NFL and then some tennis, because in a couple weeks, as the U.S. Open wraps up, in a couple weeks we have the French Open, so that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm just going to go over just some of my tennis plays that I had over the last little bit. So the great thing about tennis, like I said, you in-game it because you can kind of see how the match is going by just either watching or just kind of watching how the scoring is going on your phone, or just parlay like some winners, because more often than not the heavy favorites come through in Grand Slams. So Medvedev and Team, I parlayed those two, I believe, in their quarterfinal matchup, and they both went through, obviously, and to the semifinals. And then in the semifinals, Medvedev and Team, which I feel like is the winner of that one, was going to go on and win the whole thing. Team was a slight underdog, so I bet him. I think he was plus 100, and he ended up winning in straight sets. Um, and the other side of the bracket, I had Busta. So Pablo somehow came through in the quarterfinal matchup. He was plus 130. I bet him. First time I watched him, he's like, Novak said it perfectly, and before he got disqualified, um, about Busta, where he doesn't really do anything spectacular, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So he doesn't beat himself. Doesn't have a hard serve. Or just doesn't, not a power player, but he doesn't make many errors. And so I thought it was a good spot for him to get through to the semifinals, and he was got good value on him. And then in the semis, he played Zverev, which is the German powerhouse. So I picked Zverev and Team in a parlay for the semis. They both came through for me there. So now I have Team in the finals. So he's too big of a favorite to obviously just bet. He's like minus 400 or 450. So I parlayed him with Osaka, who was in the women's final. She won yesterday, so that was part one of my parlay. She beat Azarenka, and now I need Team to come through today to complete that parlay. Azarenka looked really good. I actually picked Serena to beat her in the semifinals, and Serena just didn't look good. Azarenka just looked like she wanted it more. So in that one, I did in-game Serena to win the 22nd game. And so that's a great thing about tennis, is there's so many options to in-game bet. So she had the serve, so essentially I was just betting her to win her service, and she won that, but I lost the match in terms of picking her to win. And then in the final, Osaka is just a different animal than Serena at this point in their careers. And Azarenka, I just felt like her time was, kind of over at that point. So, but she had a great tournament, obviously. So some success in tennis, and then I'm just going to quickly go over some NFL plays for today. Kickoff is like in probably 5 minutes, so this is not obviously for anyone who decides to watch the pick, because it's probably too late. In the future, I'll try to make videos, obviously, the day before or a couple days before Sunday, just depending. But like I said, it's been pretty crazy, so I'm just going to get my picks out there, and then people can just kind of watch and see how I do, and if they decide to follow me, they can do that. So week 1, obviously difficult. We have no idea what's going to happen. There was no preseason. There's no fans at this point yet for I think Jacksonville is the only stadium that's going to have some fans today. But going forward, there's going to be fans at some point during the season. So it's difficult to kind of pick right now, especially for home teams, because you don't know how that's going to go. But, do the best you can for the first week on limited information. So for me, I have some straight bets. So I do a lot of teasing in the NFL, because NFL is very difficult. I mean, more often than not, people go 8-8 over the course of a week. If you're picking every single game against the spread, it's usually 50% on one side, 50% on the other side. It's usually split. Like you can have 1 year, because I've been in pools many times where you're picking 256 games, which is the full season, every game against the spread. you can have 1 year where you go 145 and 111, and the next year you're going 120 and 136. Like it's very random. Your best bet obviously is to pick 2, 3, 4 games a week. If you're picking every game against the spread, long term you're probably going to be right around 50% in the grand scheme of things. So teasers I think are the way to go in terms of parlaying. Spread parlays long term aren't really aren't profitable, but teasers I find an advantage for me. That's kind of like where I want to go a lot of the times, or I just do a straight bet against the spread. So straight bets against the spread today, I'm picking the Patriots at -6.5. I'm picking the Vikings -2.5. The Saints against the Bucks -3.5, and then the Chargers, which is probably my favorite pick of the week, -3 in Cincinnati. So those are my 4 straight bets. Again, all chalk, and 3 out of 4 of those are at home. But I think the Patriots are going to be undervalued this year to a certain extent with all the changes they went over, and they're a touchdown favorite against Miami. Miami's no good. Their last game was in New England last year, and they won the game at like a +800 dog. I don't think they're going to win 2 in a row in Foxborough. The Patriots are a very prideful organization, obviously, and so I think they're going to surprise some people this year. I think Cam, as long as he stays healthy, is going to have a pretty good year under Belichick. So, -6.5, a touchdown against Miami. I mean, I think the Patriots are the way to go in that one. The Chargers at -3 in Cincy. I think Cincinnati's going to be an exciting team with Joe Burrows, but no preseason. This is a rookie quarterback going up against a very fast defense with the Chargers. And the Chargers don't have Phillip Rivers this year, which is great. So they have Tyrod Taylor, who is more of a game manager. He's going to check down a lot of passes to the running backs. He's mobile, which is everything that Rivers didn't do. He doesn't turn over the ball. I think the Chargers get this one done against Cincinnati. I think Cincy is going to be fun to watch going forward, like I said, but this is a different animal. Joe Burrows is going to be a really good quarterback, but this is not his week. So Patriots and Chargers are probably my favorite picks. The Vikings just lay in 2.5 against Green Bay. Obviously, I think the Vikings are, they're going to lack at the quarterback position compared to Green Bay. But I think overall they're a better team than Green Bay is. So, short line, I'm going to pick Minnesota at home. The Saints at home -3.5 against Tampa. I expect a lot of scoring in this game. I don't know. The Bucks, we'll see what they're going to do. They're obviously very hyped up with all the weapons they have on offense now. But I don't know. Evans is not, I think he's going to play, but he's not 100%. Gronk, I don't think is going to be the player he was. And we'll see. Brady, we'll see how he does with all these weapons. But I don't think they're going to outscore New Orleans today. Tampa has a really good rush defense. They were top 5 in the league last year, but they are terrible against the pass. So I think the Saints are just going to pick them apart with, Kamara, Mike Thomas, and Breeze. I think it's going to be a lot of scoring for the Saints. So those are my 4 straight picks. In terms of my teasers, Patriots at -6.5, so pretty easy. I'm teasing them down to win. The Niners, touchdown favorite, I'm teasing them down to win against Arizona. And the Falcons are +2, +2.5 against Seattle in Atlanta. I'm teasing Atlanta up and picking them as well. So I think I have them it's a 10-point teaser for Atlanta, which I typically don't. I usually do the 6-point teasers, but it's Atlanta. It's hard to trust them, and I don't feel like getting screwed against Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson in the first week. We'll wait for later on in the season to get screwed by them. So picking Atlanta, I think it's like +12 or 13, something like that, against Seattle. Seattle typically, on the road, they win a lot of close games. I don't see them blowing out Atlanta. And Atlanta has played well in the second half of the season last year. Hopefully they turn it around and continue that into this season. So we'll see. The Falcons I didn't lay any money on the money line for Atlanta, but the Falcons might be a team you want to sprinkle some money on the money line because they're a live dog. I feel like they could beat Seattle today. So that's my 3-team teaser. Patriots to win, Niners to win, Falcons +13. Hopefully that all comes through. And my favorite ones this week, I think straight bets again are Patriots and Chargers. We'll see what happens. I got the Saints and Vikings in there too. So see what happens week 1. Kind of get a feel for what the year is going to be like and kind of go from there.